Hello everyone, just a quick video today, bi-weekly upload. We're going to talk about Blue Eyes White Dragon and why I think that Konami want this deck to win the 2025 World Championship, and why I think this is what they're pushing for. Of course, they have no control over this, but just judging off the way things are going, this is what I think is going to happen. Now, the reason for this is that a few weeks ago, we got a ban list, and it was a really good ban list. I think people across the board were very happy with it. And obviously, it wasn't perfect for everyone, of course, but it hit some big decks like Yugioh and Malice, and were just bans like Abyss Dweller, which were very popular with the fans. So, saying that, I just want to obviously point out the World Championship is in 2025, so we have about 4 months, August 29th to 31st of August 2025. Paris, France is where it will be in Europe this year. And yeah, 4 months away, so maybe one or two ban lists before then, probably one, I'm not really sure. But if you look here, right, so this is 2016, this is 9 years ago. This is the last time Blue Eyes won a World Championship. Now, this is the deck they were using. Obviously, it's very hard to see in that picture there. They had 3 Blue Eyes. No one's really playing that. Playing 2 Blue Eyes is nowadays. You got 3 Sage, which is still played. Effect Veiler. Maxi was unbanned at that time. Insanity. Master with the Eyes of Blue. Some people play that in pure Blue Eyes, but if you're playing Blue Eyes Primite, you're not playing that. And then you have White Stone of Ancients. Some people, again, playing that in pure. Trade-in, not used anymore. Phoenix Wing Blast. Obviously, no way that's going to be used anymore. And then you have Blue Eye Spirit in the extra deck, which is still used. Black Rose Moonlight Dragon, which is still used by some people. And then Abyss, which is, if you're playing pure, people can use it. Now, this obviously shows the difference between 9 years ago and today and how different the game was. Not completely different, but you can tell it's just got more and more fast-paced, that you can't use trap cards like Phoenix Wing Blast and things like that. I think Majesty's Fiend, that is, or something like that, that's banned, so that's not going to be used. And then if we go to, I just want to look at this Reddit post from 9 years ago. If you have a look at this, it says that congratulations to the winner of the 2016 World Championship, Shinsuke Hiyama wins with Blue Eyes. Now, the funny thing about this post is that if you scroll down, you will be able to see a commenter a very long time ago, only 30 upvotes, but I think this was the general consensus at the time. I don't think this surprises anyone at this point. Their list used at Worlds basically said, play Blue Eyes if you want to win this. So essentially what they're trying to say is the ban list used was just Konami saying, yeah, you need to use Blue Eyes if you want to win this. Now, getting to the title of this video on why I think Blue Eyes won't, it might not guaranteed to win, but they want it to win, as in Konami want it to win, is because obviously, as I said, the ban list, you've got Abyss Dweller not benefiting Blue Eyes, Dimension Shifter not benefiting Blue Eyes, Yugioh was doing a lot better than Blue Eyes Primite, even though Blue Eyes Primite's a great deck, Yugioh was doing better. And then you got other cards like Snake Eyes, Malice, as I said before. So kind of crazy that they hit everything apart from Blue Eyes Primite. Now, I also am not that bothered that they didn't hit Blue Eyes Primite, because I think Blue Eyes Primite isn't that broken yet. I think that obviously has broken aspects. A lot of people hate Primite Draw Beam, the fact that it can negate and banish. But then again, you do have to use a normal monster in your deck, which can increase the chances of bricking. So it kind of, that's the cost of using Primite Draw Beam. So it kind of makes sense. But obviously, like I said, no Primite hits. And do I think Primite will get hit down the line? I don't think so. I think Konami want Blue Eyes to win, because it's been so long since Blue Eyes has been a winning deck. It's been so long. And I think they did a really good job with Primite and the Blue Eyes structure deck. One of the best products Konami's ever released was that structure deck. And then you could also be asking, why does Konami care? Konami just wants to sell cards, and that's it. They don't care who wins the World Championship as long as they're playing Yu-Gi-Oh! And paying for the cards or whatever. That's why I think people are wrong, because the thing is, right, Blue Eyes is the most iconic card when it comes to Yu-Gi-Oh! It is our version of Charizard, what Charizard is to Pokemon. So imagine like you've been out of Yu-Gi-Oh! For a while, and you just see a post about the World Championship. It says Blue Eyes wins the World Championship. For a lot of people, that's nostalgic. So they might get into Yu-Gi-Oh! Again, and it's just such a great way to advertise the game. But if you saw a post that just said Malice or Yugioh wins the World Championship, it was going to be like, what the hell is that? Blue Eyes is nostalgic, and it's a selling point for Konami. It's a selling point for Yu-Gi-Oh! And it's just good advertising, right? And they've done it before. Like I said, 2016, they 100% banned everything else that was relevant. Not completely, but cards from those decks, to make sure Blue Eyes won. I think they'll be a bit more subtle about it if they do it this year. And of course, it's not guaranteed, right? I could just be completely off the mark and they're going to hit Primite, and Primite's not going to win anything. It's not going to be as strong as we think it will be in August. But it's just my prediction of what we've seen in the past and the fact that the Blue Eye structure deck definitely sold very well. Blue Eyes, I guarantee you, has got a lot of people back into the game. Maybe not a lot of people, but people who maybe took a break because they wanted to play nostalgia decks and they just didn't get the chance, and now they can. That happened to me because I used to play Master Duel and I collected Yu-Gi-Oh, but I never went to locals in person because I was like, I want to play Blue Eyes, I want to play Red Eyes, I want to play Dark Magician. I'm an anime fan and that's the reason I play the card game, and it just wasn't possible for me. And I mean, you can do it, but it was just really hard. And then the Blue Eyes structure deck came out, and it competes, man. It's so good, especially with Primite, even though it is really expensive. We are getting the Lordly Load reprint in June, I think. I can't remember what the set is called, but it's looking good, man. And a lot of people, if they do this, will be frustrated because obviously you don't want a deck to win just because it's been forced to win. You know, you want it to win because the player using it was the best, and there were many options. You want a load of options. A sign of a healthy game is where there's a lot of options available and they can all win. If you just have 1 or 2 or 3 decks winning, it's not a healthy sign for the game. Now, like I said, I could be completely off here. And as I said, it just seems like it's going that way. For me, it just seems like that's what Konami wants. That's what Konami's pushing for. And yeah, in the OCG, of course, from what I've seen, Blue Eyes isn't topping every tournament. It's winning here and there, but it's not dominating, right? It's not in an unhealthy position where it's dominating. But let's say this ban list, it's been 3 weeks now, so I think the meta's kind of settled coming off this ban list. And I think Blue Eyes got stronger since this ban list. I really think it did, because its main, not rivals, but main decks that were beating it had been nerfed. Of course, Memento's coming now and is a huge deck at the moment as well, which is probably stronger than Blue Eyes at the moment. But like I said, there's still 1 or 2 ban lists left. There is a World Championship coming up, 2025, Paris, France. And my prediction is not that Blue Eyes will win, but Konami will maybe push it in a way that they want it to win. So, you know, I could be way off, but that's what I think. Just wanted to make a video on it, to be honest, because I was just thinking about it. I really want to talk about this. I spoke to some people about it in my locals, and they were kind of agreeing. They were like, yeah, it kind of seems like the way. Of course, it's early to tell. It's 4 months away, but we can speculate. Now, if Konami do this, would I be annoyed? It just depends on how they do it. Because for me, if Blue Eyes wins, I'd be happy. You know, I want anime decks to win. You know, it's just how I am. And a normal monster deck winning in 2025 would be crazy. But yeah, just food for thought. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think I'm way off the mark? Do you think Konami will do this? Like I said, I just think from an advertising standpoint for Konami, it's just something they would do. Now, before we end the video, please, Konami, can you give us some Red Eyes Black Dragon support and maybe help that win Worlds or even Dark Magician? Because Red Eyes Black Dragon is completely neglected. Yes, I know you can use Primite in it, but why would you use Primite when you could just use Primite with Blue Eyes? Because Blue Eyes with Primite is way stronger. But yeah, that's my prediction for the 2025 World Championship. Obviously not a prediction of who's going to win, but my prediction on how the ban lists will go. And they may be very lenient on Blue Eyes compared to other decks. I mean, they went hard. Not hard, but they went pretty in on Ryziel and Malice. But yeah, thank you for watching, guys, and I will see you on the next video.